So a little bit more on forcing a scared dog to do stuff. Where's my hand? Forcing. Okay, so we've been sitting here for probably 5 minutes. She was at leash end, right? I waited for her to come a little bit more. She came a little closer on her own. I offered her hot dogs. She didn't want it. And then now she stepped forward. Now is she bored and going, hey, Larry, what the hell are we doing? Maybe. Maybe it just took her that minute, couple minutes, to be like, to get into that. Well, yeah, she is. My brain. Hi, girl. You ready? You want to go try to do this stuff? But initially, I was doing a lot of, you got to come closer. I was doing a lot of waiting, but then eventually I would kind of, where's my hand? Force her in, right? I tried to force her to do some of this stuff. She didn't want to. But we did. Kind of got over it, right? So again, the energy with which you do things is what matters more than what you actually do. So let's go like this. We have the ramp to the right and a bunch of stuff to walk through over there. Do we want to do the ramp right away? Let's work up to the ramp. I always thought that would be easier because it's not stuff over her head, right? And going through tunnels and having stuff go over her head is good for their confidence. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. You can do it. So here, she's pausing. I'm going to offer her food to come forward because she does take food from me. Now, initially, she doesn't care about it. Come on, girl. So now I'm just going to do encouragement, right? Come on. Come on, buddy. Good. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There you go. So there she went into a down. There's a lot of stuff going on right here, right? And then I want to get out of the way so she can choose to come out. I don't want her to run off crazy. Right? That's a scary situation, but absolutely nothing is going to happen, right? And what else? So that's something initially what I did is I had to make her go through. Now, we didn't go through this tight quarters here. We went through that stuff over there. So that's another one. Like if I stop and encourage, she's not going to move, right? If I back up and encourage. So what I'm doing there is, but now I want her to do it. We're at the point where I want her to do the stuff herself. So, but also me being in the space is spatial pressure, right? So I'm in a space where I want her to go. That's creating pressure. But I also don't want to use oh, good girl, right? I've moved over a little. She came with me. I also don't want to use leash pressure right now because I want to get away from it. I want her to start doing these things on her own. And the bad thing is I don't have something like this in the backyard where I can do it every day, right? This would be something that if we came out every day, she'd be probably crawling all over this stuff. But I have, well, I could probably go, if I had more time, I could go to Cottonwood more. See, she licked it and said, I don't want it. So let's see. Let's see if you can see this thing. I want to try this other thing. I want to kind of walk around this stuff, and then she did really good going on this stuff at Cottonwood with the boys. Right, so there she just kind of ran right by it. Okay, I got the ramp and that. Okay, so see over here, where's my finger? Over here, I'm going to try to get her to go under that. But I'm going to do under that thing one more time. The other thing I have to do with her is if we do too much of the stuff, it's a stacking thing, right? They call it trigger stacking. It's that's stressful, that's stressful, that's stressful. And even if, say we're to go sit down for 10 minutes, she's only going to come down a certain amount. Now, the longer I can sit in between it, which I don't have, I mean, we could spend 45 minutes just on this stuff, I guess. It's not as good as walking, but she doesn't really need to walk exercise. She does really good with not much. All right, let's see. Come on, girl. So now, oh yes, very good. Now she's not even slowing down. She's just following right with me. You're okay. All right. So the first time she slowed down and she even went into a down. Then I come over here and talk, so I'm letting her come down, right? It's just stressful. The more you do the stressful stuff, the less stressful it becomes. If you avoid the stressful stuff, it's going to stay stressful stuff. And sometimes you have to use more pressure than you like. Like ideally, would I ever have to use least pressure to make him go do? No, ideally, no. What about now? See, she's like, I don't want your damn food. What does that mean? If she has been taking hot dogs and food from me, and now she's not, what does that mean? She's become stressful. What the hell are we doing? Come on, girl. Oh. Good girl. Right? I mean, she wasn't even taking it from me when we were sitting over there. Right? So the fact that we're here in itself and by herself, right? If the boys were here, I guarantee you she would walk up on there because she did it at Cottonwood last week, right? I had to leash her up. Now, Cottonwood is more fenced, like the playground has a thing around it so they can't get out. So let's do this one more time. And then I'm going to walk around and I'm going to try to do that little bitty one that's over there. So it's a couple feet less than this, right? Good girl, no hesitation at all. Oh yeah, there she hesitated a little bit. Good job. Very nice. So let's just go walk around here. I'm going to walk by this a couple times before I make her go on it. Right, so sometimes there's scary stuff. If you just walk by it, stuff they don't want to do, just walk by it. Right, that's bringing the desensitization in first, right? So this is just walkways, but they're narrow. Very nice. So we're going through narrow walkways. She's right beside her behind me. Right? I think that's the other thing that I think she was more readily going on this one at Cottonwood because it's a lot wider. I would say 1.5 of those. Let's see. That one has some stuff we can walk under. Let's go way around. So this one is it's a short one. I don't know if you can see my hand. This one's a short one. So I'm going to walk by it a couple times because I know it's going to be stressful. Oh, here's one with a bar going over us. Right? A little bit of a hesitation, but not bad. Good girl. And then a little bit of a run through. So there was that thing. And then there was a slide right after it. I don't think it's in the picture. So it's kind of two things, right? So now she's, I know you can't see, but now she's kind of pulling away, right? So you know look, see how she's pulling away? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk around. I might not have done enough time in between those, but I went to one that I didn't feel was as scary for her, right? And we could spend our whole 45 minutes on this, really. No, it's too much, right? So see, even way over here that we just walked by it, she's pulling off to the left. I don't know, she doesn't have to potty because she already peed and pooped, right? So let's do this. Let's go. I don't want to go on the ramp yet because I know she has a hard time with that. Right. Good girl. She gave me a look. She took the pressure off of the leash herself as we were walking. So what I do when she's pulling the pressure away, I just ignore it because what she's doing, she's trying to pull away from the stressful stuff, which is this stuff. Let's see if I go sit down over here. And so I just ignore it. Whereas, let's see how long it takes her to walk up to me. I don't know what I was going to talk about. Oh, so she's pulling off to the side, right? I just let it go. I wonder if in those moments I should just stop. She's really good with movement though. So I keep moving while she's pulling off sideways, and then she eventually brings the pressure off herself. And then it's at that point when she gives me a couple steps, I'll say, good girl. That's a good girl. Very nice. Are you coming for hot dogs? She licked it. Licked my fingers, licked the hot dog. I said I don't want it. Right? But the fact that she stepped up and she's leaning forward towards me, right? That's all good stuff, I think. It's hard for me to see little things like that sometimes. Because even though we've only been here 2 or 3 times before, one time we didn't even come anywhere near this stuff because the kids were here. Or actually a couple times. There were kids here, so we can't. What else we got to talk about? I wondered if she takes one more step forward, I'm gonna go see if she'll go on the ramp. I think I'm gonna blow this off because going through these is about the same level. There's a lot more crap over here though. Over there it's pretty wide open. Maybe I will do that. Because here where we went in the lower one, there's stuff on the other side. Oh no, it's on the back side with that blue bar, but there's other stuff around it. So the blue bar back there is kind of the same as this, but there's stuff behind it. Whereas this, if we go through that thing, there's nothing. It's wide open. So if it's wide open, she's more likely to be like, oh, I can get through this. It's no big deal. I've done that 100 times. What you think, girl? Hi. You want one more time? On this little round thing? All that talking, when you do the talking like that, that's for you. Right, let's see how she does right here. Right, so here she's already pulling away. Let's see. Right. I'm gonna let her sniff it. And then I'll use motion. Good girl. I think that might have been in there. Right, so what I did is I crawled to, and if she wants to stop and sniff, so a lot of times what I want to do is just get through it, right? Or I might not be looking back and watching and I feel that they've stopped. So there, I actually looked back. Here, I'm gonna go off in the grass over here. I think you can still hear. So there I looked back and she was stopped, but she wasn't stopped. And so sometimes what she does when she's scared of something is she'll freeze, right? And she'll just stand there. But what she was doing is she had her head down to the ground and was sniffing. So that I want to allow, that's a good stop. If she's stopping and sniffing the ground and she's stopping and sniffing the thing that is supposed to be scary, then that's good, right? If she's stopped like, hey dude, I don't want to do this, that's when I would have kept going, right? So the reason I stopped is because she was interested in it. So if she's interested in it, I want to let her be interested in it. Right? What you think, girl? One more time, or is it pushing it? And ideally, one of these times, she's just going to go right through it on her own. Good girl. Right? So I'm going to go off over here. Because I noticed when I walked really close to it after we did that, she pulled off. So let's see if I walk way away from the big scary structure. She's still pulling off anyways, even though I'm way farther away from it. So I'm going to let her, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to let her, when she takes the pressure off of the leash, I'm going to go back through, and then we're going to try to go up the ramp. So she's not really pulling away, but the pressure is not off on the collar. Once the pressure drops from the leash, we're going to go forward. Dude with the big old black poodle over there. Hey, poodle. With your big old long fluffy tail. So now she's standing here so long, I think she's just in the freeze mode, so I'm going to move. I was trying to wait for a little bravery, we'll call it. Good girl. Well, she went through a little bit fast, and then she ran. So let's see if we can come up on the... Let's try the ramp. This might be one of those, you push it too much, Larry. That's my MO, guys. Just one more time. One more thing. Come on, girl. And I might be making too big of a deal of it. Very nice. Right? I could have done this sooner. I kind of wanted to work up to it because, just because. Let's see if she jumps up the stairs. Is that a little too much? It's super tight quarters here. So she gave it a sniff. I don't care. Let's go ahead and take it off the pressure of being up here and doing stuff. I was going to try to go up the stairs. If she was going to give me the stairs, I would have went up them. So here she's kind of wanting to take off. So this is where I'm talking about. I want her to kind of get over it. Good. She turned back to me. Okay, so now I can give you the let's retreat. Right? And now we're going to call this an exercise and be done. So that was actually, I might have could have went to this sooner, right? Because she went right on it. She didn't even hesitate. So now, right? And then so back up that second ramp, I don't know if you could see she went up 2 steps and then there's a bigger step. So most of the steps are only like this. Then there's a step that's probably twice the size that I stepped up onto. And then in order to see if she would go on it, I went to the next steps. But when it goes up, it's a skinnier quarters. So she's less likely to do that anyways. And so now we're going to just sit here and let her chill out for a second. Oh, and on the back side, I think I let her stand there a little bit longer than I normally would. One, because she got distracted because the dude walked by with the dog. So that kind of, or maybe it just broke. Wow, look at that tree's down. So it might have just distracted me more than anything. That might have been the time to move, right? But I wanted her to come towards me more before we moved. And so was the dog that broke my timing? So I started over. So I stayed back there a little longer. One, I wanted her to move, make the choice to move and come closer to me. And then I thought she got into where she used to. It's hard to explain, I think, but there's times where she's freezing, and when she's in a freeze mode, she's like, that's when she needs guidance, right? And then sometimes I've made her go a little bit too soon. She wasn't ready yet. It's just hard to tell. Sometimes she needs 7 to 10 seconds, and sometimes 5 seconds is just fine. 3 seconds is almost never fine. She always needs more. But anyways, so she was back there. She never made a step forward. Then it got into where after the poodle went, and then she still wasn't moving. That's when I thought she was in a freeze mode going, okay, dude, what do we do now? And to, I think letting, if they're in that kind of state of mind, oh my God, what do we do now? If we leave them in that state of mind too long, then that's just as bad, right? Ideally, they'll make that brave move and step forward or come closer to you to take off your confidence. But ultimately, sometimes we just gotta say, "Hey, dude, let's go." Look, like right now, she's right now she should be walking. I shouldn't be sitting here talking babbling. We should be walking. She does really good with she does really good with movement. Hey, sweet thing. I would like her to step towards me more, but I'm not gonna keep this going because it's already 20 minutes. So I'm gonna turn this off.